Hi, this is Sandy. Welcome. And I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a seamstress. I've done many sewing jobs for a lot of people and groups. I've made costumes. I've made individual garments for ceremonies. And I wanted to share with you because I keep getting requests to do classes, and this is probably the best way for me to reach a broader group of people. So I'm going to do my best to inform you on how to choose a pattern, for example, the right fabric selection, and also how to read your pattern, measure yourself properly. And as far as measurements go, what you see on the chart is not always, it's just a standard. So what I recommend to you is that you're just going to use the measuring tape as your guide, and you're going to trust that, and you're going to forget everything that you know about, oh, I'm a size 6, when really, okay, not going to happen all day long. Okay? I'm, for example, not a size 9, but I'd love to be. But reality is that I rely on the tape measure in order to get my measurements correctly so I can make a garment that will fit me properly. So that's my goal, is to help you to achieve that for yourself. And in the end result will be pretty good. And no, it'll be awesome. You'll love it. So stay tuned, okay? Okay, so here we have a McCall, and it has several different shirt options. Really, the pattern pieces on the main bodice are all the same. It's just the sleeves that are different. So you have on the main one, which is my favorite, you have the 3/4 sleeve, puff sleeve with a little bit of a cuff. I love that, and I would like to show you how to make that. And on the top, you have, that is the same thing, but it's an illustration. So that's labeled A, B, and C. So you can see you have choices, and that's pretty good value for one pattern piece that you would pay for. And hopefully you're not going to buy a pattern full price, because as you can see here, it's listed at $17.95. Wait for patterns to go on sale, they always do. And in the meantime, know which patterns that you'd like to select ahead of time. So as you can see, this pattern is listed at $17.95. I suggest that you wait for patterns to go on sale, so preview the pattern that you'd like ahead of time and buy it on sale for a much better value. A lot of times, McCall's will have sales on their patterns, and they'll be like a fraction of that price. So, hi. Okay, take a moment out and write this on a piece of paper. You can stop the frame if you want, freeze frame it, and write this listing that you see here so that you can refer all your measurements onto a piece of paper, which will make it easier to do your sizing chart. Okay, so make sure you do that. Freeze the frame and write down below bust, your waist, your hips, your shirt length, your shoulder width, sleeve length, and cuff opening. Because we are all shaped differently, and we're all have different length arms, different widths, different thicknesses, whatever you may have it, we're all different. Okay, so these measurements are going to be our Bible as we refer to the sizing chart. Okay, so do that now. And when I mean measure below your bust, that means to measure right here where your bra strap, all the way around where your strap would be. Okay, your bust, as I mentioned before, would be right at the top of your apex or where your nipples would be. your smallest part of your waist measured here, and the hips at the widest part of your hip area. And now as far as measuring your back length, you would take from that bend, that bone that's right here, when you bend your neck you can feel it, place your beginning of your tape there and bring your tape all the way down and run your hand down the tape and get your length to however long you want it, whether it's just at your hips or just slightly below, and grab that tape and record that measurement. Also too, your shoulder width is important because you can transfer that measurement to correspond with how it's going to fit on you. So basically, that shoulder bone right here, measure right across the back of your neck from there all the way across to there, and you can feel where you have to stop. And it should be in the general area of your sizing chart of whatever your size happens to fall under. And I'll show you how to do that in a minute. Okay, so right now this is called tail of the tape. This is a cloth measuring tape that you can use, and it goes in inches as well as centimeters. I suggest you use inches. It's a lot more standard in size. So here we go. The most important measurements that you're going to need to take are your bust size. So make sure that your tape runs straight. It doesn't droop down anywhere. And you're going right across the front or the apex of your bust. And you get your measurement that way, all the way around, and put a finger inside so that you have a little bit of room. Don't pull the tape too tight because that will be an improper measurement. That's cheating, and you're just going to cheat yourself if you do that. What you need to do is just have a nice, relaxed measuring. So I'm going to go ahead and do that for myself. I do my bust, just like that. And as you can see, I have it right over the front, and it's pretty straight. So I'm going to take that as my measurement, and I'm going to write it down. Okay, and the next is the waist, and that will be the smallest part of your body, your torso, the part that goes in. And as you can see on me, that would be right about here. So that's what I'm going to take there. And again, I'm not going to pull it too tight because I don't want a garment that's too tight, and that's not going to fit me properly. So I'm going to take and make sure everything is straight all the way around. Bring that all straight. Okay. And I'll take my measurement at that. Write it down. And last but not least is my hip. Now on the hip, you're going to have to also make sure that you're not wearing anything too baggy. So you're going to want to wear something close fitting. You're going to do the same thing at the widest part of your hip. So, and make a straight line as well. We don't want anything like sticking way down and then up in the front. So let's make that as parallel to the floor as possible. And there you go. Okay, so now record that. And I am not telling you guys what it is. Just kidding. Okay, so the next thing is to take and take all the measurements that you recorded and compare it to your sizing chart, okay? So I'm going to show you how to do that. so as you can see, I transferred all of my measurements onto the sizing chart by circling the numbers corresponding to the bust, waist, hip, back, waist length. And as you can see, I am not a size 9, I'm a size 20. And I'm not going to cry about that too much because I want a shirt that fits me nice. I don't care about looking like a mannequin. I care about clothes that fit me properly. So I'm not too broken up about that. Okay, so as a general rule, your bust size will pretty much determine your size that you should be using. So you can see I'm a size 20. I'm going to be using mostly a size 20 on my pattern pieces, and I'll alter at the waist because it falls off the 20 grid. And my back waist length also, I will alter that so that it'll fit. Okay, so I can't believe I'm showing everybody this, but oh well, we might as well be honest with ourselves. Okay, to determine how to check for your cup size, it's very easy. On your bust, you would measure straight across the back and over the fullest part of your bust and record that, which you've already done. However, you also need to include the high bust, which is where you measure across the back, high up under the arms and across the top of your bust. And it's shown on here like so. So number 1 is your bust on the illustration, number 2 is your high bust, and you record those two. And based upon that, then you would take and determine whether you're A, B cup. If your bust is up to 2 inches larger than your high bust, use pattern piece number 1 and 2. If your bust is 2 inches to 3 inches larger than your high bust, use pattern pieces 3 and 4. D cup. If your bust is 3 inches or 4 inches larger than your high bust, use patterns 5 and 6. So it pretty much takes the guesswork out of using these pattern pieces because this garment is what you call a semi-fitted. So you're going to need to have your measurements pretty much right on. Otherwise, your garment won't look properly on you. It will be either too big, too baggy, or too tight. And then you'll be popping your buttons, and you don't want that to happen. Okay, so there you go for that. Okay, so far I have brought you through pattern selection, sizing chart, measuring, and pieces, identification on the type of garment that you're going to be making for yourself. And I've shown you how to determine your proper cup size on this semi-fitted garment. So the next step would be to cut out your pattern pieces of paper carefully, and on the next series of videos I will be going through what are notches, what are all the little symbols on your patterns to make it easier to read. It's really not that scary. It just seems that way for a beginner, but I can assure you that all the pieces and all the little figures and all the little mysterious little drawings and everything that are on there are there for a reason. They're to help you do a proper job in your sewing and aligning your pieces properly. So we'll cover that on the next series of videos that I will do. So until then, I thank you very much for taking the time to view this video, and I hope that it's going to help you out. So I look forward to seeing you soon.